All right. Hello, 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 hello. Sean Brady coming to you the spring day and sort of amongst our COVID-19 self voluntary sequestering, if you will. Stay at home and not socialize and social distancing and all these fun things that we're dealing with now, and being more cognizant of washing our hands and spreading viruses and germs, which we probably should have been doing for a long time anyway. But I did want to talk about choosing endurance and what are the things that we endure. I certainly thought of this as we were doing my 15,000 steps this morning. I do 15K a day. For those that don't know, that's the hashtag you may or may not have seen in reference to this. But I wanted to start with the definition of endurance, and then we can go a little bit deeper dive in this vlog. So endurance, according to Merriam-Webster's Dictionary Online, is the ability to withstand hardship or adversity, especially the ability to sustain a prolonged stressful effort or activity, like a marathon's runner's endurance. Definition 2, the act or instance of enduring or suffering. Endurance of many hardships is an example. Permanence, duration, and I highlighted this for a particular reason. So permanence or duration, and we'll get into some cool synonyms here in a moment. But some of their synonyms are abidance, ceaselessness, continuance, continuation, continuity, continuousness, man, this is a tongue twister, durability, duration, persistence, and subsistence. And out of those, I even took a deeper dive into some of those definitions, and specifically continuity, uninterrupted connection, succession, or union. Let me repeat that. Continuity, uninterrupted connection, succession, or union. So hold that in the back of your mind. Now, persistence. Persistence, the action or fact of persisting. And we know that, any great definition doesn't have the word inside of it, but it's a state or quality of being persistent. So let's look at the word persistent. To persist. And I just love this intransitive verb. To go on resolutely or stubbornly in spite of opposition, importunity, or warning. Obsolete, definition 2 of persist. Obsolete, to remain unchanged or fixed in a specific character, condition, or position. How about that for persist? Definition of 3 for persist. To be insistent on the repetition or pressing of an utterance, such as a question or an opinion. Definition number 4. To continue to exist, especially past a usual, expected, or normal time. So persist, endure, endurance. Where is your endurance? Choosing endurance. So the whole quote that started this introspective is certainly this, and this is pretty cool. Endurance is frequently a form of indecision. Now, Sean, I thought you said the whole point of this vlog was choosing endurance, and it is. And it's where we're choosing endurance. Like I choose my 15K a day. I choose not to eat gluten on a regular basis and really reserve it for treats or a real whole grain, so I know it's not going to have adverse effect in my system. I do notice it. That's choosing endurance. But oftentimes, and this quote is by Princess Elizabeth Lucy Babesco, who was an English writer and socialite way back when, and I think she was around, I wrote it down here somewhere, but she was an active writer between 1921 and 1940 when she passed away. Now, she was a daughter of a British Prime Minister and the wife of a Romanian prince, hence her name, Princess, is actually true. But one of the things, and she had some just fabulous quotes here that really gave me pause, and thinking of her original quote that spurred me on to even look into her life and her background. Endurance is frequently a form of indecision. So what are the things that we are enduring that we specifically don't want around? What pains are we enduring? What angst are we enduring? What issues are we enduring? I realized this in my walk today, that I was enduring a bunch of pushback from my children. As you may or may not know, we have 4 kids together, my wife Michelle and I. And, 3 of them are teenagers, or will be teenagers soon. Their birthdays are coming up. But they all have that mental, natural pushback. Now, of course, we love our children all the time. Mark Warren always taught me that I might love you all the time, but it doesn't mean I like you all the time. And there's certainly been some trials in this stay-at-home togetherness that have ensued, not getting to our different friend zones, my friends at my workspace. Certainly we have these wonderful communication tools, video, web presence, and online interaction, phone calls, right? You can see people, you can interact with people more easily now, but it's not the same. So if endurance is frequently a form of indecision, what are we not choosing? So if we're deciding, we're choosing a specific thing that we want. But if endurance is frequently a form of indecision, what's the endurance that's in our lives that we're enduring, that we're not choosing, that we're not deciding on? And if it's a persistent complaint, then by gosh, by golly, we get to take a look at that. So as I started to look through this, and this is a predecessor to some of the things I wanted to do and put out in the world for a business standpoint. And I'm working with some fabulous coaches at Coach's Corner and beyond around the country. And one of the things that we are choosing to endure, to put together over the period of the next 12 months, is a platform for people to come together where we can all thrive with economic and emotional well-being. And how do we do that? One, we have an opportunity to be responsible for our life, right? We're all put into the same position right now where we're stuck at home. It's a responsible thing to do, right? We have COVID-19 that's active around us. It is changing the way we will all do business, interact with each other, socialize, and just live our lives from here on forward. Now, conversations disappear. That's one thing I learned from Landmark Education. So we may forget about this in the future. And I know another thing that's been enduring for me, as an example for myself, is indecision in my own life around what financial moves I should make right now. I chose to do something and get out of the market back in 2018. And I was in a money market. I was not active in my retirement funds for the period until recently. And I've been even a little hesitant or indecisive in pulling the trigger on things that I wanted to do. Like I needed a little more information about the stocks, the funds, the things like that. Okay, that's responsible. But the thing I was avoiding was even looking into what I could invest in. I have certain restrictions in as we all do, in our retirement accounts or our mutual funds. It doesn't have everything in the world. We can certainly make choices on those behalf. But one choice that I made a long time ago with my wife was to live a life where we're following a lot of Dave Ramsey's rules, right? We're debt adverse, not because debt isn't a tool, an instrument of opportunity. It can be, but personal debt, in my opinion, is a form of servitude, indentured slavery. Let's call it what it really is. It scares me that we have some of these tax reforms and things like that to help people, but they may not really fully understand it. There's a deferment on mortgage payments for 3 months right now. Now, what does that actually mean? It means you can defer it for 3 months, but when is it owed back? It doesn't mean you get to take a pause on your time right now. You do get to take a pause, but when's it due? It's a balloon payment at the end of the 3rd month. Now, you can do it over 6 months, Sean. I know, it's actually 2 consecutive 3-month periods. So it's a 3-month first, and then a second 3 month later, a total of 6 months. But either way, when's all that due? It's a balloon payment at the end. So you have the temporary gain of not paying anything or holding it off to a later date, but then you run the risk of, well, if you don't have the money today, when are you going to have the money tomorrow? And that's why our financial markets are all kind of crazy, especially with our low rates right now. The interest rate is 0. They dropped it, so it's so low. Well, yes, but think of the investor. The most cases, a bank in this case. It may seem like a good choice or decision, but is it? Most people choose the easy path and say, it's like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I say I have to disagree with that. But this is my vlog, in my opinion. You can disagree with me if you want to, and that's fine. You'll turn out just fine. Or you won't. I don't know. The future is uncertain. We don't know which way markets are going to go. I saw JP Morgan posted something on the New York Times that say, hey, look, we're at the low right now. That's a great opinion. There's no fact behind it. We don't know what the future is going to hold. We don't think it's going to go down any lower. Well, parts of it will. They always have to. It's just the nature of the way the thing works. So I wanted to share some more fabulous quotes from Princess Elizabeth Babesco. If I'm saying that right. If I'm butchering it, I apologize. But here's a few of them. I'll post these in the notes. And I got these off of a various bunch of places, and you can find them online. That's where I found them, from Quotable and some of the other like-minded quote things. What you possess is not what you jingle in the pockets of your memory, but in the imaginings with which you fill the spaces of the future. I like this one also. To some people, the impossible is impossible. One fine day, they wake up in the morning knowing that they will never hold the moon in their hands, and with the certainty, perfect peace descends on them. Seeing through is rarely seeing into. Seeing through is rarely seeing into. And I'll leave you with this one because there's many, many more. But it's never good to dwell. It's never good dwelling on goodbyes, she said. It's not the being together that it prolongs. It's the parting. So before I sign off, I'll say this. I enjoy this format. This whole thing is sponsored by a fun little group that we're putting together around bettering ourselves. We have Thinking Coach Carl. We have myself, Accountability. We're both sales-focused and minded people. And we coach. And that's what we do. And we lead groups where people can come together, get a different perspective, and take advantage of everything your mind and life has to offer. Again, it's creating environments where people thrive with economic and emotional well-being. It starts with your mindset. It starts with your community. And that's what we're building here. Hope you can join. Hope it's of value. Sean Brady. Thanks for watching. And goodbye.